and he lost to Frieza in his final form. Then he loses to Perfect Cell as a Super Saiyan. He goes Super Saiyan 2 and beats all of the Cell Juniors. And then he technically lost to Perfect Cell again when he blew up and Goku teleported him away. It wasn't until Perfect Cell came back that he won the battle, and honestly I'm counting it as a team up because Vegeta did assist him. Later on he lost to Spopovich and Yamu, he won against Dabura, lost against Majin Buu, lost against Super Buu, and then lost against Buu-Tanks when he got absorbed. In Dragon Ball Super, he lost against Beerus, was part of the team-up that beat Frieza's army. He won against Ginyu, but then lost against Frieza. He fought Lavender to a draw, and in preparation for the Tournament of Power, he lost against Krillin and fought Tien and Goku to a draw. And then he lost against Goku. In the Tournament of Power, he teamed up to beat Diem, he won against Potamo, he won against Obni, he fought Prüm and Harmira to a draw, he teamed up to beat Shimizu, he teamed up to beat Frost, he teamed up to beat Sayonel and Pilina, he teamed up to beat Gamisalis, and he teamed up to beat the team of Panacea, Koitsukai, Bororetta, and Paparoni. He teamed up to beat Agnisala, fought Toppo to a draw, teamed up to beat Dispo, and then in Dragon Ball Super Hero, he won against Gamma 1, and then teamed up to beat Cellmax. He has a total of 14 with 42 fights. That makes his win percentage 33. Next we're looking at the Prince of All Saiyans, Vegeta. In Dragon Ball Z, he loses to the team-up of Goku, Krillin, Gohan, and Yajirobe. He wins against Kui. He wins against Dodoria. He loses against Zarbon, but then comes back and wins against Zarbon. He teams up to beat Guldo. He loses against Raccoon. He wins against Jace. He teams up to beat Ginyu. He loses to Frieza in his first and second form. He loses to Frieza in his final form. He wins against Android 19.
Nope. See, that's what's wrong about that right there. If first form Frieza beats Vegeta, why would he transform? Huh? I'll wait. Why would he transform if first form Frieza lost to Vegeta? I mean, he didn't technically beat Frieza, but you get what I'm saying. He actually matched his power, which is why he's like, "Go ahead and transform. I know you can. Hey, this ain't everything you got. I mean, I'm just getting you close to your limit, but you know, hell, he wasn't all the way there. Was Vegeta there after that strong ass Zenkai he had? Was Vegeta at about 400,000, close to 500K? We're gonna have to do some number checking on that coming up. We'll investigate, but that's that story. Right here it goes.
As a Super Saiyan. He wins against Dr. Gero. He loses to Android 18 and gets his arm fucking broken. He wins against Second Form Cell. He loses to Future Trunks trying to protect Second Form Cell. He loses to Perfect Cell. He loses to the Cell Juniors, but then he teams up with Gohan to beat Perfect Cell. He barely helps, but it counts. Later on as Majin Vegeta, he wins against Goku, but then loses against Majin Buu. As Vegito, he fights Buuhan to a draw, and then is part of the team-up that ultimately takes down Kid Buu. In Dragon Ball Super, Vegito loses to Beerus, wins against Ginyu, teams up to beat Golden Frieza, wins against Magetta, wins against Kaba, loses to Hit. On that alien planet, as the copy form, he beats Gotenks and then loses to Goku. Some of you might not count that as actual Vegeta, but it's a win and a loss, so it evens itself out anyway. He wins against Future Trunks, loses against Goku Black, loses against Goku Black and Zamasu on their second trip. Vegeta and Goku fight Goku Black and Zamasu to a draw, and then Future Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta team up to beat Fuse Zamasu. This is the battle that Vegeta was in. He wins against Hisap, Oregano, and Hop. He teams up to beat the Trio of Danger. He wins against Botamo and Magetta. He fights Kaba to a draw. He fights Brienne to a draw. He teams up to beat Prüm and Dr. Rhoda. He teams up to beat Frost and Magetta. He fights Brienne and Sue Roas to a draw. He fights Toppo to a draw. He wins against Kato Pesra. He teams up to beat the team of Panacea, Koitsukai, Bororetta, and Paparoni. He teams up to beat Agnisala. He loses against Jiren. He wins against Toppo. He loses against Jiren again. In Dragon Ball Super Broly, he loses to Broly on his own, but then teams up with Goku as Gogeta to beat Broly. And in Dragon Ball Super Hero, he wins the fight against Goku. Vegeta has 24 points with a total of 54 fights. That gives him a 44% win rate. Closing off this list of fighters, we have our